Oh, do you want to start?
Oh, hi there, guys. This is Mrs. Klein.
Hey, it's Miss Burkles.
We are here today with your Lesson 26 podcast about the Maya. Like always, there's a guiding question, and this time it is what led to the rise, flourishing, and fall of the Maya civilization?
And we have our vocab, which is ceremonial center, hieroglyphic, Maya, Mesoamerica, ritual, sacrifice, slash and burn agriculture, and social pyramid.
All right, you guys, if you want to follow along, we're on page 371 for the introduction. The Maya civilization, which lasted about 3,500 years from 2000 BCE to 1500 CE, included lands located in present day southern Mexico and large portions of Central America.
In this lesson, you will trace the development of Maya civilization and some of its most important achievements. You will also take a closer look at several aspects of Maya culture, including class structure, family life, religious beliefs and practices, and agricultural techniques.
All right, you guys, moving on to section 1, the development of Maya civilization. So, Maya civilization reached its height between 200 and 900 CE. During this time, Maya culture spread over a great deal of Mesoamerica, including part of present day southern Mexico, Belize, most of Guatemala, and parts of Honduras and El Salvador.
The Maya built their civilization in part on ideas they inherited from a people called the Olmecs, who lived in the jungle areas on the east coast of Mexico.
Farming allowed the Olmecs to create permanent settlements. The Olmecs established farming villages throughout the region and created trade routes that stretched for hundreds of miles.
By 1400 BCE, the Olmecs had a capital city that boasted palaces, temples, and monuments. They were the first Mesoamericans to develop large religious and ceremonial centers, as well as the first to use a solar calendar or a calendar based on the cycles of the sun.
All right. Historians divide the history of Maya civilization into three main periods: pre-classic, classic, and post-classic. The long pre-classic period lasted from about 2000 BCE to 200 CE. During this time, the Maya farmed the land and lived in simple houses and compounds or groups of buildings.
Possibly as early as 300 BCE, they began to adapt the writing system of the Olmecs to develop their own system of hieroglyphic writing. During the Classic period, the Maya adapted and developed other ideas they had learned from the Olmecs. For example, they improved on Olmec building techniques.
Maya society during the Classic period consisted of many independent states. At its height, the Maya Empire included more than 50 cities, including Tikal, Copan, Chichen Itza, and Palenque.
Around 900 CE, the Classic civilization collapsed. The Maya abandoned their cities in the southern lowland area. To this day, no one knows for certain why this happened. To the north, on the Yucatan Peninsula, Maya cities continued to prosper during the post-Classic period. This period lasted from about 900 CE to 1500 CE.
All right, moving on to section 2, class structure. Within each Maya city-state, society was structured like a pyramid. The ruler of each city-state was at the top of the social pyramid. The Maya ruler was considered a god king.
The next layer in the social pyramid was made up of nobles and priests. The nobles served as scribes and officials and oversaw the administration of the states.
Priests were important because it was their job to maintain favor with the gods. Like nobles, priests inherited their position from their fathers. Priests led rituals, offered sacrifices, and foretold the future.
The Maya were accomplished traders traveling by sea, river, and well-constructed roads to trade with other city-states. Maya artisans made a wide variety of objects, many of them designed to pay tribute to the gods.
The peasants were the backbone of Maya society. When they were not farming, peasants had to spend time building pyramids and temples. Peasants also served as soldiers during wars and paid taxes to the nobles.
At the bottom of the social pyramid were the slaves who performed manual labor for their owners. While some were born into slavery, free people sometimes became slaves. For instance, a parent might sell their child to feed the rest of the family, or a person who committed a serious crime might be enslaved as punishment. Once captured, war prisoners of humble origin were also enslaved.
In general, the Maya didn't mistreat their slaves, even though, it was a system that it was not a permanent status. Okay, all right. So again, kids, if your parents sold you, they could come back and buy you a little bit later on if they sold you so that they could make money to be able to pay off their debts.
Wow.
All right, family life. Life for Maya peasant families was not easy. Maya women cleaned the corn that had been boiled and left to soak and soften overnight. Then she set to work at the grinding stone, pounding corn into meal.
During the day, women and older girls cared for small children and for the family's few animals like ducks and turkeys.
Maya fathers and sons ate their morning meal quickly before leaving to work in the fields. When they were not busy with the crops, men and boys hunted and trapped animals.
The birth of a child was a time for rejoicing. As soon as possible after the birth, the family called in a priest to perform a ceremony much like baptism.
At 3 months of age, girls went through another ceremony. In the 3-month ceremony, the baby girl was introduced to the tools she would use throughout her life. Small items were placed in the baby's hands, such as tools for spinning and weaving, carrying water and cooking, and soaking and grinding maize.
A similar ceremony was held for boys at 4 months of age. The baby boy was given farmer's tools such as axes and planting sticks and the spears, knives, and traps of a hunter.
All right, marriage customs. The next big moment in the life of a Maya youth was marriage. Marriages were negotiated by the village Antasahab, or the matchmaker. Okay, so again, you're not picking your spouse. You're going to somebody else who's going to pick your spouse for you.
Wow. Section 4, religious beliefs and practices. Religion was very important to the Maya, who built their cities around religious and ceremonial centers. Their magnificent temple pyramids rose high above the jungle canopy like mountains reaching into the sky.
All right, the Maya religion was polytheistic, which means it included many gods. The Maya believed in more than 160 gods, but the primary Maya gods were forces or objects in nature that affected people's daily lives, such as rain, corn, and death.
The Maya believed that the gods had created the world and could influence or even destroy it. The same god that sent life-giving rain could also ruin the crops with hailstones.
According to Maya beliefs, only priests could explain divine signs and led people through rituals aimed at pleasing the gods. Priests performed sacrifices and conducted ceremonies.
The Maya honored their gods with offerings such as plants, food, flowers, feathers, jade, and shells. The Maya believed that blood gave the gods strength, so they also made blood offerings by sacrificing animals and sometimes humans.
Human sacrifice also played a role in an ancient Maya game called Pakatak. Scholars believe that the game was played between two teams of nobles who tried to hit a solid rubber ball through a stone ring by using their leather-padded elbows, wrists, and hips.
Surviving art from the ball courts show members of the losing team being sacrificed and the captain of the defeated team being beheaded.
All right, now we'll move on to the sacred calendar. The Maya used their knowledge of mathematics and astronomy to develop a complex calendar system. The first was a daily calendar based on the solar or sun year.
The second calendar was the sacred or ritual calendar called the Tzolk'in, or sacred round.
Only priests could read the hidden meaning of the sacred round. Priests used the sacred calendar to determine the best days to plant, hunt, cure, do battle, and perform religious ceremonies. You guys, you're going to get to be like a priest and use one of the calendars. You get to do an activity. It's kind of a fun thing.
Super fun. Like Maya art and architecture, the calendar system reflects a highly advanced civilization. This high level of civilization was possible due to the ability of the Maya to create a stable food supply.
All right. The Maya were creative, skillful, and used their knowledge of skillful farmers, and used their knowledge of calendars and seasonal change to help them become even better at growing food.
The primary Maya food was maize or corn. Other typical crops were beans, squash, and chili peppers.
One of the most difficult challenges the Maya faced was how to grow enough food to feed their growing population. Farming was difficult in the regions where they lived due to dense forests, little surface water such as lakes or streams, and poor soil.
The Maya responded to this challenge by developing different agricultural techniques for the various environments in which they lived. In the mountainous highlands, they built terraces or flat earthen steps into the hills to make more land available for planting. In the swampy lowlands, the Maya constructed raised earth platforms surrounded by canals that drained off extra rainwater.
A different technique was used in the densely forested lowland areas. In city-states like Palenque in present-day Mexico, the Maya used slash and burn agriculture. First, they cleared the land by cutting and burning plants and trees, and then they planted their crops. Unfortunately, this type of farming wears out the soil.
As populations increased, the Maya had trouble raising enough food to feed everyone.
For about 600 years, the great cities of the southern lowlands thrived, and then, around 750 CE, the civilization that supported these centers fell apart. By 900 CE, the Maya had abandoned their large cities to the jungle.
The collapse of classic Maya civilization is one of the great mysteries of Mesoamerican history, and many theories have been offered to explain what happened. Some historians believe that the populations of the cities grew faster than the Maya farming systems could sustain them.
Another possible cause of the Maya's downfall was uncontrolled warfare. A final possibility is that invaders from central Mexico helped to destroy the Maya city-states.
Although the great Maya cities are ruins today, Maya culture lives on. About 2 million Maya still live in the southern Mexican state of Chiapas, with millions more spread throughout the Yucatan Peninsula and the cities and the rural farm communities of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador.
All right, you guys, lesson summary. So in this lesson, we learned about the Maya civilization, which existed in what is now Mexico and Central America between about 2000 BCE and 1500 CE.
The development of Maya civilization. The Maya's greatest achievements came in the Classic period between 200 and 900 CE. With a writing system and building techniques adapted from the earlier Olmecs, the Maya built complex stone cities. At its height, their empire consisted of more than 40 city-states and covered much of Central America.
All right, class structure and family life. Maya society was a social pyramid with the ruler at the top. Most Maya were peasants.
Students, don't forget that we have Jamba Juice here on campus today. You can pick up yours right near the office right now for just $5. Head on up to the office, grab yourself a delicious Jamba Juice. Once again, they are up here near the office, just $5.
Mm-hmm. All right. Women and girls cared for small children, kept house, and cooked the meals. Men and boys worked in the fields or hunted. Maya girls celebrated reaching adulthood at 12. Boys did so at 14, and marriages were arranged by a matchmaker.
Religious beliefs and practices. Maya religion was polytheistic. The gods were forces of nature who could influence or destroy the world. Only priests could understand divine signs and read the sacred calendar, and no decisions were made without first consulting the gods.
All right, agricultural techniques. Farming techniques such as terraces, slash and burn agriculture, and raised earth platforms allowed the Maya to create a stable food supply. All right, you guys remember there is a guiding question this time.
What led to the rise, flourishing, and then fall of the Maya civilization?
And then don't forget about all those vocabulary terms: ceremonial center, hieroglyphic, Maya, Mesoamerica, ritual, sacrifice, slash and burn agriculture, and social pyramid.
Have a great day.
Be good.